Welcome everyone to the squad announcement for the Subway Socceroos for the October FIFA Men's International window. Before we begin, I'd just like to acknowledge the original custodians of the land in which we gather today and pay my respects to elders past, present and emerging. I'll now pass over to Subway Socceroos head coach Tony Popovic to take questions on the squad. Thank you.
Tony, welcome to Adelaide.
Thank you.
First Socceroos squad. I'm going to start with Massalongo, obviously coming out of retirement. What were the conversations that were involved with getting him to come in and stuff?
I didn't have conversations with Massimo, but obviously people within the organisation did. He's made himself available and he became an option for us, and I wanted to bring him into this camp.
There's a few guys such as Jason Guerrier, who's obviously not been involved for a long time, and Luke that you've worked with previously. What have you seen in particular from them that made you know that they're ready?
Well, look, obviously I've got a history with them. I know them very well, but they've had a very good long cup run, so they've played regularly. They're playing well. There are some areas on the pitch that we have some unfortunate injuries, and it creates opportunities for players. And I felt Jason and Nishan deserved that opportunity.
First time Socceroos been in Adelaide since 2017. Happy to be back in Adelaide?
Yeah, I'm happy to be here for this first press conference. I'm looking forward to seeing the players. Being here in camp is good with the staff. So, we've started our preparations. The next step is following this, that the players start rolling in, as they do. Just excited, and we know that fans here in Adelaide are always special. I know they'll get behind the Socceroos, and we know how crucial this match is, and their support backing us from the stands will make a huge difference.
So the South Australians named in the squad as well. They must be excited to have that opportunity to play in front of a home crowd. It doesn't happen very often here in Adelaide.
Yeah, even from my experience from being overseas, when you come back to your home state, it's special. In front of family and friends. A lot of the boys played their football here that are from Adelaide, and that's always a special moment for the individual. So I'm sure they're looking forward to it, and that they'll enjoy it and appreciate it.
Tony, you said you didn't talk to Massimo Luongo. Firstly, can you tell us who did? Who was the salesman on your behalf?
There is no sales. Why do we need a sale?
Well, I don't know. He stepped out of football. He stepped out of international football for many years. So I wondered if you had to.
No, there's no. If we have to sell the Socceroos jersey, we have a problem. There is no sales pitch. If a player makes himself available and available for selection, and if he's chosen, that should be enough for every player. We're choosing. Okay, for this camp, we've got 26 players, which is a little more than we usually select. But with my first camp, I thought it was good to bring in a few extra players to see how they are. A couple of boys are coming back from injury. But in terms of, I'll be worried if I have to sell to a player a reason to play for Socceroos. I'll never do it. So if you're selected, you should be honoured, you should be privileged. 25 players to come and play for your country. And if that's an issue for any player, I'd advise them not to make themselves available.
Just simply, Tony, when do you get the full squad in town?
I think Tuesday night, a couple Wednesday morning. That'll be something which is unique for me to obviously understand, but we have to adapt. But I think from Sunday we get a group of players, another group on Monday. We have to obviously monitor the weekend's games, and hopefully everyone comes through unscathed. But as I'm seeing, little issues occur in terms of player availability, but we have to find a solution.
So what challenges does that short preparation present for you as a coach?
I think it does, but we just have to focus on what we can control, and it may be more conversations with players, more video sessions. We have to make sure that they've recovered well from their weekend games, and know that they're playing for their country. And I'm sure that you can put jet lag aside when you're representing Australia.
You've only been in the job a very short while. Have you had much chance to have a look at China and also Japan, against obviously whom the national team have not had a great record in recent times.
Yeah, we have. We've been focusing on that in particular the last 3 to 4 days with the staff. So we're aware of the way they play. We're aware of what we need to do, and we're building our preparation towards Thursday.
Do you see much change, say, from the Japan that played Australia in the last World Cup qualifiers to the side they've got now?
Yeah, if you look at the recent games of Japan, I believe they had 11 players that all play overseas that don't play in Japan in their starting lineup, so it shows how far they've progressed. Their style of play looks like it's evolved, it's different. They're playing with a back three. So we'll see, we'll be prepared for that. But we've looked at them, but really the focus needs to be on China. It needs to be on this game here in Adelaide, and then we'll deal with Japan after that.
What's the strength the squad has, and how is that going to help your game plan approach for China and then Japan?
For what, sorry?
How does the squad that you've selected, what are the strengths that's going to help your game plan and the way you're going to play against China and Japan?
Well, look, they're quality players. That's first and foremost. You know, they're 26 players that are selected because of the quality that they have. So that I don't doubt. And each one of them will be able to contribute individually and collectively to make a good performance for us. So we really need to make sure that the desire is strong in terms of representing your country. That needs to always be there. I believe that's a non-negotiable. And then we need to improve our football. And if we improve our football, I'm sure that we can put on a really good performance on Thursday.
And how confident are you in the squad that you can bounce back and win against both teams?
Yeah, I'm confident.
Just a local question. You mentioned 4-7 South Australians in the squad.
Mm-hmm.
You must be happy with the state of South Australian football producing quality world-class football.
Yeah, I didn't know actually that there was 7, to be honest. But that is quite special and something that every South Australian should be proud of. And hopefully there's more to come.
Quite a lot of criticism of the lack of creativity that Australia have shown in the last 2 games particularly. I think Riley McGree is in this squad, isn't he? Do you think he's perhaps the solution to that problem?
Look, we've selected a number of players that have those attributes. You know, Riley's come back from injury, Aiden Hrustic has come back from injury, Jordan Boss has come back from injury, good attacking players. You know, Sammy Silvera is a young player that's getting minutes at Middlesbrough and showing good quality. So yeah, there is quality there. It's an area we know we have to improve, but I'm confident with this squad and the abilities that they have that we'll see a real positive change.
Like you say, it's obviously a larger squad than normally is selected by a couple. Do you have to, guys that miss out this time, I'm sure there's players that will feel, right, I know new coaches come in and I'm left out. Do you have to sort of seek them and say, you're still in my plans, or is it something they know anymore?
I'm not sure that ever should be an issue, but every player that comes to Australia should want to play, and unfortunately the rules only allow 11 to start, so there will be disappointed players, but if they're not disappointed they shouldn't be here, and they should all want to be contributing on the field. But that's why you have a squad, that's why they should feel privileged to be in the 26, and then when they come here they should fight to get the opportunity to play, and if it's not in this game it may be in Japan or it may be in the next camp. So I'm not ruling anyone in or out whether they're here. If they're not here, their chances of playing for Australia do not diminish, and in the next camp in November we may have a very different squad.
Just big picture, Tony, what are the foundations or what are the key messages that you'll give when you get your squad in about how you will approach, not going in depth in tactics, but what sort of foundations will you lay for the squad and what you want to see as a coach?
Yeah, look, there are some things there that we'll discuss internally, but first they need to remember that they are good players, that they've represented Australia extremely well. The group has been together a long time. We had a very good World Cup. some really good, memorable moments, memorable matches. At the moment, the last couple of games, the performances were not good. I think that's all clear to see. But you know, I want them to come with the attitude that they need to get back to their best. Remember why they're here, who they're representing, and that's a good starting point. And then from there, I'm sure once we're together and we have our discussions and we do our training, that you know, they'll be ready to perform.
In terms of implementing your own style of play, like I mentioned, obviously mine only have a couple of days with some of the players and really a couple of days with all of them. How much can you do in terms of tactical side? Is it more about implementing sort of the morals and structure?
No, the tactics will be important. They'll be well aware of what we want to do on the pitch, and I'm sure we'll all be able to see that.
I'm sure you've watched those two games ad nauseam, really, the Bahrain and the Indonesia game. Have you been able to pinpoint sort of where it went wrong, other than the obvious one I mentioned about, you know, lack of creative play to open them up? Are there other factors you think that were in play for those disappointing performances and results?
I think there are a lot of things in play in those two performances, but you know, I'm sure there'll be a change now when they come in, and I'm sure the players themselves, you know, the quality they have, the careers they've had, they'll be hurting about those two performances, and it can happen. You know, you don't often see, we haven't often seen Australia in recent years as a group play so poorly over two games. You can have individuals, it happens, they have an off day, but Australia's predominantly been able to, you know, cover those cracks. But you know, these two matches, it was pretty much poor from everyone. So you know, I'm sure they'll be okay, and you know, they'll be ready to come into camp and play better.
Given that it was poor, do you think there was perhaps an attitudinal problem after that
I don't
excellent
know.
World Cup? That people
I don't know
a bit
about that.
complacent?
I don't know, and that only the players know.
Questions? All good? Good. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you, everyone. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you at the game on Thursday.